D&D is a system. Dungeons & Dragons has purposefully entrenched us. This is not a metaphor. This is not figurative. This is literal. We are in a web created by their own design. We are not designed to escape. There's this theory called the network of externalities that believes that everything that gets added to a system improves the quality of the system as well as entrenches people into the system. You can read this a little bit as you like. I'll go over it in just a bit, but I really want to talk. So in Japan, I don't know if you know this, but they majorly use faxes. Like, they use faxes between companies, between each other, mostly to send documents. I don't know why they send an email. They don't send an email. So the theory of network externalities essentially works that when you buy a fax machine, not only is the value that you are connecting to a network of people that also use faxes, but for every single person that has a fax machine, you've improved the network by being added to it. You are now one person they can communicate with. You adding onto them and adds quality to both of you. This is part of why Japan can't stop using faxes. When you start a company and you join in, you need to connect with other companies in order to interact with them, in order to do business, and you can't do that unless you get a fax machine. And if you later on get rid of the fax machine, you've not only made it more difficult for companies to interact with you, but you've actually cut yourself off from the network, losing credibility as a company. As a very collective society, I would think they would consider it rude. So, because no one is willing to fully leave this entrenched system, faxes stay. They're still using them. It slows down businesses. That's why they work long hours, really long hours. Black companies bring people there until like 9, 10 p.m. at work. It's not good. Another really good example of this is the whole Twitter debacle. No, but I'll get to that in a bit too. The idea is that D&D is somehow better than the competition is a powerful and entrenched concept. The idea that D&D can be beaten by a game that is better than D&D is at the heart of every business plan from every company that goes into the market. Battle game with D&D. If you accept the theory of network externalities, you have to admit the battle is lost before it begins. Because the value doesn't reside in the game, but the network of people that know how to play it. Part of the strength of D&D is that literally everyone knows how to play it. So many people know how to play Dungeons & Dragons. So many people are capable of teaching you it. There's a network of content on the internet teaching you how to play as well if you don't know. Like if you Google D&D tutorial, you will find a million videos. Unironically, just so many videos of people introducing concept. There are so many channels themselves dedicated to introducing people into it. You have fed into the D&D machine because it's also a good way to grow. It is a really good way to grow. But part of the network of externalities is that because you are added to the system, you can spread the system, and the system goes stronger with every single person you teach and you join, because those people can then make content, then create stories and have more conversations. The network grows ever stronger and ever expanding. It's too strong. Part of the reason the OGL was initially created was not only to provide open gaming, but also by proliferating D20 rules, people would make content, people would solve math problems for D20. You would, in turn, help improve Dungeons & Dragons content, their game, their mechanics, by creating your own stuff. By profiting off them, they profit off you. They make a better game, you make a better game. And that sounds nice, maybe? But the spread of those rules has made it so the people that love D&D stay in it, and the people that hate D&D, that fight against it, you're still playing into the whole effect. There's this quote from Community where Troy asks Jeff, hi, I keep this varsity jacket on, but I don't know where if I should take it off or should take it off. People are giving me a lot of like, crap over it. What do I do? And Jeff responds, keep it on to appease them, take it off in spite of them. You're still doing it for them. That's what's weak. You fight D&D, you try to be better than D&D, you try to embrace it or maybe ignore it. No matter what, you're doing it for them. And that entrenches in your mind as that is an obstacle to beat. That is a mountain to climb. That is something you need to deal with and get better at. The system has made D&D so entrenched in our lives we can't escape it. Much like Twitter. Part of externality is saying that because people get so entrenched in an idea, they will stay using those technologies, even if they're inefficient, even if there's better products out there. There are better products out there, but they won't use them because the network of people has so much more value than the game itself. When Elon Musk took over Twitter, people thought, yeah, it's gonna blow up. It's awful. People did not think that like him at the helm would keep it around. People wouldn't keep using it anymore. That they were creating other different good social media. Hive, Mastodon. I was gonna say Bumble, but I think that's a dating site. But it didn't. We're still on Twitter. Because despite the helm being run by a madman, piloted by a madman, driving right into a rock, the value is that we're still already on it. Most of you can't stop Twitter. I know most of you are still looking at Twitter, maybe even during this video. Because we all use it, because we use it to interact, because we use it for information, we can't quit Twitter, no matter who's running the show. Dungeons & Dragons, no matter who's running the show, no matter what game you make, what you develop, whether or not it's better, it doesn't matter. It's for them. Dungeons & Dragons is knotweed. Japanese knotweed is this plant that you can kill off completely. You can cut off all the root, not the roots, but as whatever you see of the plant. But the roots go 3 meters deep into the ground. It is buried so deep that when spring comes, it will grow rapidly, reaching stories high in months. It will burrow through buildings, trying to grow and expand. It is a resilient plant. The only way to get rid of that, you have to dig up 3 meters of ground and unroot it completely. Paizo's ORC trying to handle off, trying to help us isn't going to help because no matter what we do, we're still going to be doing it in the D20 box for Dungeons and Dragons. The only way to truly leave the system, you have to upend the roots. You have to replace the #1 market share for in-game. All marketing and sales activity in the hobby gaming genre eventually contributes to the overall success of the market share leader in the genre. You make a game, people are like, oh man, what's this based off of? Well, it's not D&D. Oh, what's D&D? I'm gonna go play D&D now. I'm gonna try out this little game that like 3 people know how to play locally, and I'm gonna go play online with tens of thousands of people. Because the network is there to play more games. Whether or not the person introduced me into it is there. We need to replace at the head. Because like knotweed, like a hydra, no matter how much you cut it, it'll just keep regrowing until it all goes away completely. Anyways, thank you for watching that video. Call to action, like, comment, subscribe. Watch me. Like, comment, subscribe, blah, 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 blah. I'm gonna think about making this new series called maybe like Post D&D. Trying to like tell people the steps they can take to escape this D&D box, to escape the system we're all trapped in. Maybe then introduce new games. What do you think? Would you like that? Leave a comment. Because I have to ask you to leave a comment. Because if I don't grow, My opinions don't matter. That's what YouTube is.